All right, Barstool units with a rough and rowdy recap. And yeah, Frank, I don't know, I'm all over the place right now. So Barstool units, it is right after rough and rowdy 18. Coach Doug's with me as always, Frank the Tank Fleming. Frank, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Things going well. I mean, rough and rowdy. We finally got that. That was the big event we've been waiting for, and I'm sure everyone is going to want to hear your experiences with training, getting in the ring, what it was like in the ring, and the whole weekend as we went to West Virginia, in Huntington, West Virginia, which is 2.5 hours from Cincinnati, and quite a nice little drive, a little country drive from Cincinnati to Huntington. Curiously enough, the airport in that they call Cincinnati Airport is in Kentucky,
Yeah. Yeah, well, people in Ohio say Cincinnati's in Kentucky.
and I think they kind of confirmed it. While
Yeah.
we were waiting, waiting to come home, me and Large are sitting there, and this guy comes in a full hazmat suit, walking by in
I
a
saw
full
that.
hazmat suit.
I saw that. Yeah, it's
I mean,
you would think at that point.
at that point, I think you just stay home. You don't go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like at what could be worth it? Like if you are that, even if it's not mental, even if it's like no, I need this. It's like if you need that hazmat suit to be on a plane, you probably shouldn't be on a plane. But what are you gonna do?
So you're now a boxer. You've actually stepped in the ring. What was it like?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say I'm a boxer. I have boxed. I don't know. It's kind of like saying I have told a lie. I have lied before. I wouldn't call myself a liar, if that makes sense. So I've boxed before. I wouldn't call myself a boxer though.
So now, and you didn't have that long to train. You didn't have long to train. Yes, a lot of people say that
No,
when you're boxing, especially you have zero fighting experience, that you need at least 6 full months to really know what you're doing, and you had
yeah,
6 weeks.
yeah. I knew it was. I knew I was going to be fighting about 6 weeks out, but the training didn't start until mid-July, and so really I had basically just about right at a month of training, and that training was really only 5 days a week, so 20 sessions, 20 sessions, like actually in the gym, learning how to throw a punch, how to block a punch. But, most of it was cardio, and I mean that definitely came in handy though. Like I said, from day one, it's 80% cardio, 40% fighting. I had the cardio, but not the fighting.
Well, I know Mickey Goldbrick once said it takes 45,000 hours for a 15 round fight. I guess for a rough and
Mm.
rowdy fight, you need 3,000 hours, and I don't think you got the 3,000 hours.
No, no, I might have gotten 80, so just shy of
Just
three
shy.
thousand hours. Yeah, but yeah, it was a fun experience. I don't think I'll do it again as far as getting in the ring, but it is a life experience, and I can't say I don't think I would recommend fighting to anyone, but definitely in the same vein as training for the boxing event, it was nice to have a goal and to be physically active, working towards something, and then the fight didn't go the way I wanted it to, but I still went through the whole thing. So yeah, it was definitely a fun experience, and although I probably won't be hopping in the ring again. I'm gonna figure out what my next challenge is because I got to keep training. I got to keep the physical activity up, and I'm still gonna be doing that. Just we'll see what the next event is.
Well, you lost 30 pounds, right?
Mm, Yeah, which I was surprised. I think my trainer was like, I bet you lost 50, and I'm like, oh, that's way too much because my pants they're a little bit loose. I could definitely probably go down a pant size, but my pants and shirt pretty much fit the same. So in my head, I'm thinking, all right, well, if my clothes fit the same, I probably haven't lost that much weight. But 30 pounds, I mean, that's it's a lot of weight. Obviously it's a lot of weight, especially for someone smaller. Um, but yeah, 30 pounds and basically a month of training.
Now, we went down to the ring. You got down there, the whole experience. At what moment did it dawn on you that this was not going well? The fight.
What the fight itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I pretty much blocked everything out up leading up to the fight. Like the day of, in fact I was confident it was going to go well. Um, I would say maybe midway through the first round when he was coming at me and I just wasn't able. I didn't know he was going to be. I didn't know he was left-handed. I training all of his picture the whole time. I was just training blocking the right and then going with my own right. He was coming with some solid left hands, and so yeah, I didn't expect that. Probably about halfway through the first round, like he was just coming at me. I was taking the punches, but I wasn't landing any. I wasn't swinging any, and so you know, if the boxing match was judged on how well you took punches, I would have won the thing. But
Well,
I didn't land any.
I mean, you didn't get. Yeah, you went. You made it to the 3 minutes. You made the 3 which was tough. Because the guy came out firing. I mean, he came out like a buzzsaw.
Yeah, yeah, and I still haven't seen it. I'll probably watch it either today or tomorrow, because I'm writing the blog right now on the whole experience and everything. But I still haven't seen it. But I definitely I from what I remember about the fight, I didn't I imagined it going much more, I don't know, I guess skillfully, which probably was a mistake on my part. I assumed that we would be, exchanging blows, kind of like how my sparring had went. But yeah, he definitely came out fast, and put all his weight behind him too. I thought, kind of like I felt like I was getting tackled on a rugby pitch. You know, I felt like I was getting tackled out there. He had me against the ropes. I was coming back from the ropes. You know, I think it dawned on me that hey, don't get punched in the face anymore. So I was more focused on trying to time his punches to where I didn't get socked in the face. But like I said, I don't know if I threw any punches the first round, but it was the plan going into it. Well, the plan going into it with the guy who initially I was supposed to fight, the Canadian butcher guy. He was closer to 500 pounds, and he was like all fat. He was a round ball. So the game plan with him was to just wear him out. I was gonna walk around the ring. I was gonna tire him out, let him swing as much as he could, and then if he gassed himself out in the first, I was gonna be good to go, and I would come out and finish him in the second. With this new guy, that was not the case. However, at the end of the first round, when I was still standing, I don't know, it might have been 5 or 10 seconds left in the round, and I haven't seen the video whether or not it shows it or not, but I just remember standing right in front of him, and you could tell like he had just kind of like dropped, like all of his energy just left, like he had given it his all for the 1 minute. Um, and so with 10 seconds left in the first round, I was like, all right, I have a chance here. Like if he's gassed right now, I still have plenty of energy. As long as I can figure out the fighting part of it, going into the second round, I still have a chance.
Yeah, that's why I think that if you had more training, you could have probably had a better chance because he definitely you could definitely tell by at least the third round he had nothing left.
Yeah, yeah,
He had nothing
and
left.
it's one of those things where it's he didn't need to have anything left because he won the first 2 rounds, so he could have just stumbled around for the third round and not done anything, and it would have been fine. Um, and it's a double-edged sword for me because I think if the rounds would have been longer or if there would have been more rounds, I feel like I could have made a comeback. Um, but I don't know. I guess that's a testament to my cardio, that I could have done it, but at the same time, it means that I didn't go as hard as I could have in the 3 rounds. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I could question everything, um, but I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm going to say, I got in there. I went the distance. I went all 3 rounds. Even after getting knocked down, I got back up. Um, so that was my main goal, was to go the distance, and hopefully, it was. I don't think it was a great fight, but hopefully it was entertaining. And that's the whole point of Rough and Rowdy, is for people pay their good money. It's a pay-per-view to be entertained, and so if people enjoyed watching it, then that was good.
Well, I remember one of the things you talked about was the last Rough and Rowdy, the previous Rough and Rowdy,
Mm,
when the units embarrassed themselves, where they're
yeah,
playing Endless Love as the two just danced in the ring together.
yeah. It was bad. Now, I'm writing that in the blog. That was pretty much, even though the training started in July. The training started July 14th. Um, I knew I was going to fight early July, like July 3rd or 4th. But really, when I decided to fight, what made me want to fight was watching the previous Rough and Rowdy.
Because yes, and of course you didn't take a dive like other punks like Jose Canseco, or
Yeah,
didn't embarrass yourself like Big Booty Daddy.
yeah. No, and that's yeah. Again, it's one of those things where I'm I'm happy that didn't happen. Obviously, the dive part, or trying to wrestle him, that was actually something they told us once we got in the ring. He's like, "Hey, this is a boxing match. No wrestling." And I don't know. It sounded silly hearing it. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like, I just entered a boxing ring. But
Well,
it's
you
Rough
were
and Rowdy.
backstage. Did you see any of the other fights while backstage on the watching on the cameras or anything?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they had some TVs back there. They had a TV in the room, and then they had a TV like right outside. The arena was split in half. So they put up the barrier wall, but on the other side of that wall, they had a TV where some people were watching. Going up to the fight, I mean, I really wasn't thinking about anything. I kind of like my mind was blank. I wasn't thinking one way or another about the fight. And the Canadian himself, I said two or three words to him after the fight. He seems like a nice enough guy, but half the people that he brought with him were real assholes. The other half were fine. I met a lot of Canadians that were very polite, stereotypical, nice people. But there was probably a good 10 or 15 of them that were just pieces of shit.
Well, one of them like threw a beer at Stu.
Yeah. And so, like, when we were backstage, before we came out, a couple of them came over and tried talking to me. I'm pretty sure they paid a girl to come, like, try and mess with me. When I was putting on my gloves, she walked over, "Oh, were you fighting Prime Time?" It's like, there's no reason this girl should be talking to me whatsoever. She's like, "Oh, are you fighting Prime Time?" And I'm just not even answering her, not even paying attention. She goes, "I would be pretty scared if I was fighting him." And I'm like, is this really what we're doing here? Like, is this really what we're doing? And I
uh,
guess it was. I get it. It's it's rough and rowdy. It's like, do whatever. But at the same time, I thought there would be a little bit more. I don't know. I'm not sure what the right word I'm thinking. I thought there'd be a little bit more professionalism. Like, don't be a piece of shit. Like, anyway.
you know,
Um,
I once went to a Devils Maple Leafs game at the Rock. This when the Devils were actually still a pretty good team. This is still when Martin Brodeur is still on the team. They're playoff contenders. In fact, I think it might have been the year they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. It might have been 2012 when they went to the NBA, the Stanley Cup Finals. And there was like 3 rows of Maple Leaf fans sitting in front of me. And by the end of the first period, they were all kicked out for throwing beers at people. And
that's crazy.
I could have sworn one of the guys in Primetime's entourage or one of the guys that was kicked out.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
wouldn't doubt it. Like I said, I only exchanged a couple of words with him. There were two or three guys that I talked to, had a few sentences with. They seemed nice enough and everything, but like the one guy dressed like Jesus, walked over, tried to mess with me like before the fight. He actually almost got his ass kicked. I
Mhm.
wasn't paying attention, but he came over and I don't know. I guess he tried to touch me or something. But my trainer, along with somebody else I brought, like got in his face and pretty much backed him off. Like, I mean, it's rough and rowdy. So if it would have been funny to see a guy dressed like Jesus get his ass kicked right before I go out. But still, yeah, it was. They were doing little things, just to try and get in my head, and it was at the time. I wasn't thinking about it. It was just kind of like I was making a mental note. Like, okay, that's one. Okay, that's two. Not like, what's going on? Why are they doing this? This isn't fair. Like, I get it. It's rough and rowdy. You came down from Canada. You're there to support your guy. But I know it was sleazy behavior.
Wait,
You know,
which to me is unnecessary. I mean,
yeah. Yeah,
I
as if there's as if there's some major payoff. Like we're all here to have fun at the end of the day. Like we're here to entertain people. It was
yeah,
just sleazy.
because whether they
But
talk to you or not, I think the result would have been the same. It was the guy.
yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, it's not like the Canadian butcher, who I don't think we should call him the Canadian butcher anymore. We should just call him the Canadian chicken because
Yeah,
he flew the coop.
yeah, yes, and I refer to him as that just as that is what people know him as. We've referenced him before, but yeah, it's not a serious nickname. But like I said, no, or like you said, there would have been no bearing on the actual fight. The fight wouldn't have made a difference, or nothing they did made a difference. It was just kind of like, you know, it's just kind of, I don't know, amateurish bush league. It wasn't necessary. Kind of, but I don't think anyone who does that kind of stuff cares what I think about, or what other people think about it. They're gonna do that, and they're gonna think it's okay to do either way.
Now, you had a lot of sponsors on your shirt. You think you're going to
I
be able to
did,
work with
yeah,
these guys going forward? A lot of some of these people.
yeah. Hopefully, well, I mean, a couple of them we already know. Cameo. You're familiar with Cameo, right?
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of cameos. I've been doing cameos so much. I'm here now. The Hard Knocks team in my sleep.
Yeah, yeah. You and Jerry just got on there as well. Cameo sponsored me. Calabria's in Livingston, obviously, big sponsor. Mangold's 74 Barbecue, which I never leave home without.
Maybe next
I
time I try to make ribs, I'll have mangold rib. I'll try to use that sauce. Last
Yeah,
time I
yeah,
used last time I used the Bucky sauce,
yeah.
which
Well,
is
I
pretty
don't
good
think the
sauce
sauce
itself.
was the problem. Yeah, I
What?
don't. I don't think the sauce. I don't
Oh, I
think the
don't think the
sauce
sauce
was the
was the
problem.
problem.
Yeah. But yeah, so Nick Mangold, Hall of Fame. Well, soon he should be in the Hall of Fame within the next couple of years, right?
I think he'll get some heavy consideration.
Yeah. I mean, he's has he been out 5? Yeah, he's probably been out 5 years, right?
I don't know if he's eligible yet. Let me look up on his
He's
eligibility.
probably coming up there, but yeah, I mean, either way, whether it happens first year or not, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He is a Hall of Fame center for sure.
Uh, Nick Mangold retired. Let me see. Mm, I think last year was his first year of eligibility, so maybe next year or something like that
Yeah, yeah,
down the line he'll get some
yeah.
consideration.
So I had his barbecue sauce. I took it with me to West Virginia. Unfortunately, I forgot one of the bottles in my carry-on. You can't carry it on, so I had to drink a little bit of it before I tossed it. Um, but yeah, and Showtime Sports Cards in Jacksonville. That's my local card shop back in Jacksonville that you've been to. I know I've taken you there a couple times when we're back in Florida. But yeah, and so they
Yeah,
sponsored me. Oh, and Never Ash Cigar. Which unfortunately I was not able to have a post fight victory cigar. Not because I didn't win the fight. I was going to smoke them either way because I challenged myself to fight in rough and rowdy. I went the distance, even though I didn't win the fight. I would still say It was a great event, and I definitely won. I did what I set out to do, which was to fight Rough and Rowdy. So I was going to smoke him either way. However, I had a horrible cough. Like it happens when I get like overworked out or whatever, just my post nasal drip or whatever. I was coughing up a lung the whole night. However, I have him in the office now, and whenever Large comes back in the office, we're gonna smoke him.
Yeah, Large, we got to thank Large because Large was with us. He hosted the weigh-in with me, and of course,
Yeah.
he actually was our ride to and from the airport, 2.5 hours each way to this little town called Hebron. It's Hebron and Covington are the two towns in which the airport is near in Kentucky, just across the river from Cincinnati.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Huntington. We didn't. I know we didn't see much of it, but that one strip in downtown Huntington was very nice. It was a good strip of restaurants. They had Friday night. They have a nice movie theater. Friday night outside the movie theater, or no, it's Thursday night. It was the night of the weigh-ins. They had like an iHeartRadio concert going out, like this little town hall square kind of thing, and like all these people brought out their camping chairs to watch this concert. It was a nice little town.
I went to the Bob Evans on Thursday night. Yes, I like those. I like Bob Evans mashed potatoes. And but yeah,
Yeah.
they had a couple of good restaurants near us. And of course, I went to a raw dog place on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, how was that?
And that video is going to be out in a few months. Let me tell you, this is one of the wildest places I've ever been to.
Really?
Yeah,
Compared to
it's called Hillbilly Hot Dogs.
compared to the place in Pennsylvania that you went to that said like, if you don't like Trump, get out. Well, where does this compare to that?
This is more of a kitschy type of thing, where
Okay,
it embraces like the uh, the uh, the reputation of West Virginia as being a bunch of hayseeds and hicks, and runs with it.
gotcha, gotcha. A little tongue in cheek.
Yeah, like
Nice.
uh, like there's a Ronald McDonald hanging from a tree.
I don't. Hmm. I don't know what to think about that. I'll have to wait until to see the video to make
And
a
they have like hubcaps
to make an
everywhere,
assumption.
and like old typewriters like on a table, washboards.
When when you say he was hanging from a tree, can you be more specific?
They have old dolls and stuff all around, but this one of Ronald McDonald was like hanging from a tree, like a tree branch.
Okay. I want to be clear here. When you're saying he's hanging from a tree branch, do you mean like the doll's hands are holding onto the branch?
No, more like there's a rope around his neck and it's
Okay,
attached to a tree
okay,
branch.
you were okay. We were getting some mixed signals there. Okay, so that's hmm. All right, and I guess we'll just have to wait till the review comes out to see how well the hot dogs were. What was the name of it?
Hillbilly hot dogs.
That's I hope they're good hot dogs. I don't know.
Mm.
We'll just have to wait and see. But yeah.
And while sitting there, it sounds like you're on the set of "Oh Brother, We're Off" Now with all the music that they're playing.
Oh, okay. Well, not, okay. As soon as I think I'm out, they bring me back. I'm a huge O Brother Where Art Thou guy. Love O Brother Where Art Thou. So
Yeah,
maybe I'll
it's
go
like
for music.
yeah, they have like this hillbilly like bluegrass channel that they're
Hmm.
playing at the restaurant.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have to wait until your review to see. But yeah, I missed. That was the first Rough and Rowdy I've been to, not just the one I first fought at. So it's such a different experience than seeing it on TV. I think seeing it on TV might be better because you get all the commentary and everything. That was one thing that I was missing. I didn't realize they play music in between that. Did they play music during my fight? During the
Yes,
rounds?
yes.
It's just one sure in there. Because I noticed that a couple fights before me. I'm like, oh, they're playing music during the rounds, but I could not tell you what music was playing during my fight.
Sometimes you notice it, sometimes you don't. I think
Yeah,
if it's a fight that slows down, where it's not a lot of action, you notice the music a little bit more.
yeah. Well, I tell you what, when you're in there, when you're in the ring, you don't notice it all. I mean, I didn't notice it at all.
Like
I couldn't tell you what fight
getting
they were
back to
playing.
the fight that you said it inspired you. The spinning back fist fight. They were playing like "Endless Love" and "Loving You Is Easy."
Spinning back fist?
Yeah, the not. I keep calling him that. The unit fight from the last fight.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's what I thought you were talking about. I didn't know what you were talking about spinning back
Yeah,
fist though.
yeah. I keep calling it spinning back fist. What was his name?
Talking about slap for cash?
Clap for Cash. That's his name.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the one that embarrassed everyone. That didn't the two guys that didn't even fight.
yeah. Well, that was the biggest thing is like, I mean, Slapper Cash had fought before. He fought what Vito the Torpedo, I think, and I think he got a good right hand on him that knocked him out. So he fought before. I'm not sure what happened the last fight, but they uh they weren't having any of it. Again, I was in the ring, so I don't know. Hopefully this fight against the Canadian was more entertaining than that.
Well, it's not a high bar to leap over.
Yeah, yeah, very fair enough. All right, I get it. I get it, Frank. I get it. It wasn't a good fight. I'm sorry.
No, your fight was good. Your fight was good enough. So you don't
Good
have to worry
enough.
about
Okay,
that.
I'll take good enough. Yeah, I mean, I was like I said after the fight with Caleb. Talking about I did get knocked down. I can't. I don't. I think I just. I haven't seen the fight. I'm watching it later on. I'm gonna do like a live react to it. But I did I get pushed? Did I get like punched into the ropes and then fall?
I don't remember. I just remember
I,
you good. I remember like he hit you and you went down like on your side.
yeah, like I don't. It wasn't a. I don't remember getting hit and like going down from the punch. I think it was more of a. I didn't know what was going on. I got hit, but I got up, so we're good.
Yeah,
Now, Frank.
it was like yeah, like you got up quickly, which was a good
Yeah,
showing.
yeah, I got up. Yeah, I got up. In a few seconds, and I think the ref was like 4 or 5 when I got up, and I still had time for him to. He he stared me down, and he said, "Or do you still want to fight?" And it was kind of like I don't know. I was kind of almost upset about the question. I was kind of almost mad that he even asked. Like I know he has to ask, but it was like, yeah, I didn't just train for a month to get knocked down one time and say no, I don't want to continue. Like it was, it almost kind of it was frustrating that he had to ask.
Well,
Um,
it's more of like they actually have to ask mainly to see how fast you respond.
yeah, no, I know that. Yeah, yeah, and I'm totally fine with it. But in the moment, it was just like, yes, I'm fine. Let's continue. Um, After the or before the fight, though, I tell you what was frustrating, the gaming commissioner for West Virginia, I think he's the gaming commissioner, he wouldn't shut the hell up. There was all the fighters were around in a circle, and there was a nice lady that said like, hey, before the fight, take out your piercings, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And then the two refs, we listened to what they had to say, and then the gaming commissioner came in, and he just liked to hear himself talk, and he was saying, now I'm going to be saying this at the beginning of every fight from here on out for the next 4 years. Every event I'm in front of, every event I'm in charge of, I'm going to be saying this speech. And right then it was just like, why does any of that pertain to us? Like, you don't need to tell me your plans for the next 4 years.
Oh no no
You
no!
need,
What happened? I'll give you a little perspective on that. He just got appointed like this week,
no, I understand.
so
Yeah,
I guess he's trying to
but he
show.
but he he's telling it. He's trying to like show his authority as commissioner. He's telling all of these people like what he's going to be doing for the next 4 years, as if we're about to go vote on whether or not he's going to stay commissioner. He's like trying to pitch us something, and we're all just standing around like, hey, we've been standing here for 20 minutes listening to speeches. But he kept saying, if you have an issue, don't go to the judge's house. Don't go to anybody's house. Don't call anybody up. Don't do this. You write an email to the commission. That is the formal way to do it. And it was like, okay, fair enough. And then he kept saying it. He kept saying the same thing over and over. It's like, shut up. Like, I get it. There was some asshole that, went to a commissioner's house or something, and, was bothering people. But anyway,
Well,
I digress.
Well, keep in mind, you got most of these fighters are actually local fighters, so that's mainly for those guys.
Yeah. It was definitely an experience, though. I feel fine. My jaw is still a little sore. Like I can't bite down all the way without, it kind of gets a little tight. But other than that, though, I feel fine. And like I said in my video, I thanked everybody in a video yesterday for all the support and everything. Even after getting punched in the face repeatedly, and through the first and second round, and some in the third, I'm sure. Even with like a sore jaw, sore neck, and everything, I still feel pretty good. Like compared to what I felt like before I started training. Like as far as energy, I mean, we went to Stu Leonard's last night, and I don't know, I just walking through Stu Leonard's like a little pep in my step. I felt good. Felt like I had energy, and I could walk without any issues or anything. And yeah, so I feel good, and the training will continue.
Maybe we'll start doing some of these the plans now of going to New York and doing the unit walks every now and then.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you know where I sit, Frank. I'm always down to go for a walk, and yeah, we'll see what my next adventure is. I do not think it'll be in the boxing ring, but I still have to keep up, training and working out and everything. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do yoga for a month and see how that works out. I did, I lost 30 pounds. Hopefully that is and that was just working out. I cut out soda. I cut out candy for the most part. If you get the trail mix and stuff in the snack room, sometimes there's M&Ms in there. Sometimes there's like little pieces of chocolate. So I had those. But as far as like candy bars and sodas, I cut all that out. And I watched what I ate, but I still ate bread and pasta and stuff here and there. So if I lost 30 pounds just from mainly working out and didn't really change my diet that much, imagine what I would do if, I actually had a meal plan or something, or, I cut out, certain types of foods all the way.
Now we're now in the middle of August. Football season only a few weeks away now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be tough, especially if we're traveling. It's gonna be tough, tailgates and everything.
I mean, and it looks like I'm going to have an October full, hopefully October full of electric chairs here at the office.
Yeah.
I mean, don't know if the Mets are going to division, but I think it's now almost to the point now where the playoffs are a virtual guarantee.
Yeah, I mean, you would, in order to miss the playoffs, the Braves and Phillies would have to pass you.
Yeah. Well, the Mets own the Phillies. So we're gonna have that going on.
I think, any kind of a reverse jinx aside, I think it's safe to say that the Mets will likely be in the playoffs.
Now just have to
I don't think that's jinxing it to say that.
Now we'll have to see how healthy they stand up and see how often I'll be doing electric chairs and things like that this October.
Yeah. Yeah. At least one, right?
Yeah. I mean, we got a lot of that going on, of course. I'm gonna look into going into the Dolphin opener, and the Mets play that same weekend.
And what weekend is that?
September 10th and 11th.
All right, so what, two weekends from now, or no, 3 weekends. Not
3.
this weekend or the next one. Oh
Yep.
yes, yeah, 3 weekends from now. Yeah.
I mean, it's just too perfect. I had to continue my ballpark tours and go to the Dolphins, go to the Mets one day and the Dolphins the next.
Would you fly down there?
Depends. I might.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I have so this weekend I'm going to Nashville. I'm gonna I've spent the last month training on destroying something, and so I'm gonna spend this next weekend building something. Doug's is going Hollywood again. I'm going to do a 48-hour film fest in Nashville. And
Well,
then
that sounds a
the
lot of
weekend after
fun.
that, yeah, it should be fun. And of course, I love Nashville. So I'll be in Nashville for a weekend, but the weekend after that, FSU and LSU in New Orleans. Megan making
That sounds,
money and Ben Mintz are going to be there.
that sounds a lot of fun. And I'll figure out what to
Yeah,
do about Miami. I'll
yeah. Well,
figure,
that's what I'm saying. So maybe after FSU LSU, maybe I fly back to Newark and we drive down.
that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's it's
And
it's
as we're
it's
driving,
sports season.
and as we're driving past Atlanta, have my fan hand out there window the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure you
You know,
would. I'm sure you would.
I hated the Atlanta Braves in the '90s when the
Because they
Mets were
because they
battling
because they
them.
won all the time.
Just when the Mets were battling them in the late '90s, you had that racist motherfucker John Rocker, and and I think it's the advent of social media that makes me hate them even more because they just come off so arrogant on social media, especially that fucking mascot.
Listen, we're not going to talk badly about friends of the program here.
Well, he's your friend. He's not my friend. He is a scumbag.
um, yeah, I will say that you had one great line last week. You referred to him as a homeless teddy bear, and although I disagree, just the thought, like how you came up with the idea of like a teddy bear that is homeless, that was very funny. So I have to give you credit for that. That is a funny thing to say. Um, but I'll say this: Blooper wished me well in my fight. That's what true friends do. He wished me well in the fight. And he did it not like he didn't like at Coach Doug's. He did at me, but it was in the tweet, so it wasn't like directly at me. He wished me luck to his 100,000 followers,
Yeah,
hundred
well,
thousand plus maybe.
that he that me and he's on my enemies list and he's also on Big Cat's enemies list.
Yeah, I think you may hate him more than Big Cat. I think Big Cat and him have a somewhat back and forth rivalry, like a not a friendly rivalry. I wouldn't say that, but I think I think there may be more respect between them than you and Blooper.
Oh, the Braves are the Mets' arch enemy, dirty, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, here's a question: how come? I mean, Mr. Met, he's. I think in fact, when Blooper last tweeted at you, I looked it up because you were trying to recruit fans to Mr. Met's Twitter handle
Yeah,
to follow Mr. Met. Mr. Met had tweeted, I think this was maybe like August 10th or something like that.
yeah.
Mr. Met had tweeted 4 times. He tweeted 4 times in like 2 weeks.
The,
He's just not active on social media, Frank.
the social media team that runs Mr. Met's account does not do a good job. They need to get Mr. Met more involved.
Well, and here's the thing: bloopers actually tweeting. Like it's not some social media team. It's bloopers the one tweeting.
I'm sure there's a team behind it though.
No, I'm not listening. There is a social media team, but that social media team is the Braves social media team. Whenever you see something from bloopers tweet, or from Blooper's account. It's Blooper tweeting. That's why you'll see like, oh, how come Blooper hasn't tweeted? And then you look over and he's dancing on the third base dugout.
Yeah, well, but whoever does the and Mr. Met does things like in the field, like a couple of weeks ago when the Mets won the two games in against the Yankees at Citi Field. He tweeted a picture of himself outside the Yankees dugout sweeping.
Yeah.
So they do things. It's just that they don't do enough.
Yeah. And also, I mean, even that is like, okay, cool. Like that's just a standard, baseball reference, because they got the sweep, or they got the sweep. Bloopers out here destroying people's lives.
I don't know if this is good news or bad news for the Mets, but Dave just said that the Mets winning today is free money. It doesn't make me feel good.
Against the Yankees.
Yes.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll tell
We
you
will
what. So
definitely see.
yeah. Now, are you going to tonight's game? Or are you going to tomorrow night's game?
I'm likely going to try to go to tomorrow night's game.
Yeah. So baseball is wrapping up. What, we got 40 more games?
Just about 40 more games, yes.
Yeah. We talk about this all the time. Where like whenever there's a lull in sports, it's like it's all going to hit us at once, and we're going to have too many sports. We're going to have to pick and choose which games we go to.
Well, we got the preseason football, which is just unwatchable right now.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
you're the
I
Baltimore
truly. I
Ravens.
mean,
The Baltimore Ravens have won 22 straight preseason games. Is there ever been a more meaningless winning streak than the Baltimore
yeah.
Ravens winning 22 straight preseason games? I'd almost want to lose one just so we could stop saying that they have won 22 straight preseason games.
Yeah. That is the most meaningless winning streak ever. It means nothing.
And you watch these games, and there used to be a little more fervor in preseason. There is no fervor anymore. And you watch Hard Knocks, and you see how that they do a lot of the work in the scrimmages.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just heard that all the players, no matter what their contract is, every player only makes $500 per game for preseason.
Wow,
Did you know that?
I did
That's what
not
that's
know
what I
that.
heard. Doesn't matter what your contract says or anything. It's always $500 a game per preseason.
That's not a lot of
I
money.
haven't even no, and I mean it's yeah. I was training for Rough and Rowdy, so I truly have not watched any of the games. I had too much to think about and too much stress to deal with watching, fourth string Jaguars players trying to make the team. I couldn't do it. But Rough and Rowdy's over now, so my attention is going to go to whatever I'm doing next. Like I said, I might do yoga for a month. We'll try that out, and along with other training and stuff, watching my diet still. But yeah, football's upon us. I'm excited for college and NFL.
It's going to be interesting. Big Ten's about to get. I think the Big Ten's going to go after the SEC.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think the Big Ten is going to scalp some teams from the SEC?
Now, I don't think they're going to be able to do that, but pulling in USC and UCLA and getting that contract from CBS is going to put them in a position where they're going to be just as powerful as the SEC. And when it comes to time to split up the ACC, the Big Ten might step in there.
Well, you think the teams will just split between the ACC and SEC, or the SEC and Big Ten?
I think well, if the SEC keeps scalping teams, I think
I
Florida
mean,
State is definitely going to be in the SEC within 10 years.
that's I made And when was this? This must have been 2012, I think. In 2012, I made a beer keg bet. I have a friend Fletcher, who graduated with his master's from FSU. He bet me a keg of Budweiser that FSU would be in the Big 12 within 2 years. I took the bet. And so if you want to make a bet like this, if we can narrow the time zone or the time span, if we can, minimize that from 10 years down to maybe 2 or 3, we can make a bet that, the ACC, that FSU will not be in the SEC.
I don't know about that, but I do have I do have a former prosecutor that owes me $10.
Oh yeah, you gonna sue him?
We'll see if I ever see him. I'll have to remind him. His name is
You
Greg
got
Brown.
to take him. Greg Brown. You got to take him to small claims court.
His name is Greg Brown, and when the MLS announced an expansion team, the second New York expansion team, I bet him $10 that NYCFC would win the MLS Cup before New York Red Bull.
And you were right. Like so many other things, Frank, you were right. Your sports predictions, Frank. I tell you what, I might want to take that FSU bet back, or not take that with you. Your sports predictions are just.
I'll give you a early NFL preview. 2 early NFL previews.
Here we go. All right, we'll finish it off here. Frank's early NFL preview.
Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl.
Really?
And my second one, Tom Brady to have a poor final season. And this will be his final season. He is going to have a poor season. He is going to have more interceptions and touchdowns. He's going to have career low completion percentages, career low touchdowns. He's going to have career low yards. He's going to have career low games. He is going to have a poor season, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have a losing record.
Do you think that by the end of the season, Kyle Trask will be their starter?
I think Kyle Trask will get at least about 5 starts
by the end of the season.
Yep, I think Brady might even be an injury situation. It might be a situation where the Buccaneers are like out of the playoffs and Kyle Trask gets a start, and then like Tom Brady gets in the game, throws like a couple passes, and then tips his helmet and leaves, and that's his final action. I think Tom Brady's going to have it's going to be it. And Peyton Manning, his team carried him to a Super Bowl. I don't think the Buccaneers have that type of defense that can carry him like the Broncos did Peyton. It's going to be a season like Peyton Manning's last season, like Drew Brees' last season, and like Ben Roethlisberger's last season, where you watch and go, he played 1 year too many.
All right. Well, I think now would be a good time to put your futures in for Bucs to win the Super Bowl. But we'll leave it at that. We'll show Stephen Shea that clip, and we'll see how it goes. That is Barstool Units, the post Rough and Rowdy edition. Frank, thanks for having us, and please click the like and subscribe button and all that good stuff. And Frank, please take us out.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River, take me home, country road, to a place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road.